Hi, it's Cara, and I just filmed a video, and I'm filming another video. Woo, woo. Today I'll be filming my July TBR, and I've got 22 books on this list. Let me just check that. I have 22 books on this list. Yes. So I read 24 books last month. Quite a few of them were novellas, so they were short, which means I may not get through all 22 of these, but I have 2 weeks of break, and I also have 2 weeks of start of semester where not much happens. I have a bit of work in those 2 weeks, but there's not much homework to do, not many assignments, stuff like that, so I may be able to get through these 22. Some of them are pretty big. Some of them are lower on my priority list. I may not read all of them. I may pick up some other books. But I have 22 things here that I want to talk to you about today, and we're going to try and make this as quick as possible. So first off, let me talk about 4 e-arcs that I want to read this month. They don't come out till later, so August, September, October, November time. I think there's one in each month kind of thing. But during August, September, October, I plan to be reading only library books if I can help it. Primarily library books. I may pick up some new releases, but I'm hopeful that if I do, I don't read them in those 3 months. But I'm doing a season of library books, so I want to have these e-arcs out of the way before then, if I can. So I don't have to try and read them around library books. So the first one is Apple and Rain by Sarah Crossan. This is a contemporary and looks really good. Then I have Gracefully Grayson by Amy Polonsky. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. And this again is a contemporary about a transgender girl, I think, in middle grade or possibly elementary school. Looks really interesting. Then there is The Floating Boy and the Girl Who Couldn't Fly. Actually, I think it's just called Floating Boy and the Girl Who Couldn't Fly, not The Floating Boy, by P.T. Jones. This is, I think, could be contemporary, could be urban fantasy, some fantasy sci-fi elements. I can't remember. It was really good when I picked it up. And then finally, there is The Last Changeling, which is a fantasy novel. It is by Chelsea Pitcher, and it looks really good also. So those are my 4 e-arcs that I'll be reading over the course of this month, hopefully. We'll see how it goes. Now getting into the books that are already out, already here in my collection. You'll probably recognise a lot of these from my last haul video, because I'm really excited about these books. So let's get started. So first off, I have The Silkworm by Robert Galbraith. I've already started this, primarily because I have to leave it here at my parents' house when I go back to uni, so I need to finish it sooner rather than later. I'm only a little bit way through, 60 pages through, essentially. This is, of course, a crime novel by the wonderful J.K. Rowling. And I read The Cuckoo's Calling like last year and loved it, so I'm really excited about this. I'm enjoying it so far. Then next here I have The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, which I am so excited about. Like, I cannot explain to you how excited I am about this. I'm hoping this will become like my new Harry Potter, where I am hanging out for every release. And I'm excited because The Mime Order is coming out soon, and I want to buy that. I'll probably buy it in hardcover, just if it comes in hardcover, trade paper, whatever it's coming in. And keep buying them when they first come out because it just looks so good and it sounds so good. I don't know if it's marketed as young adult or as adult fantasy, but it looks so good. It's about a girl who is a clairvoyant and walks through dreams, and that's a bad thing, I guess, in the society. I'm really excited to read this. Just, it looks like one of those amazing reads. Just so excited. This month I also want to read Half Bad by Sally Green. I don't have it with me at the moment. I'm waiting for my order to come in at work. It's about witches. Good witches and bad witches. I've heard mixed reviews. Some people said it's not that great, but it looks amazing. And I'm really very lenient when it comes to books. I'm like, do you catch my attention? You shall be amazing. So I'm excited. And oh, yeah. I also have a couple of sequels, threequels, etc., that I want to pick up this month that will be in an upcoming haul that I'm desperate to read. They're brand new, and that's Hangman's Revolution, which is the second Warp book by Ian Colfer. I just read the first one, it was really good. And also A Grim Warning by Chris Colfer, which is the third book in the Land of Story series. First one is a time-traveling science fiction novel, and the second is a fairy tale retelling novel, and I'm excited for both. I really need the Chris Colfer novel like yesterday because I love his writing. Some people find it a little bit immature because it is a middle grade novel, but I just love it. I love it. I love it. It's so good. The next things I have here are probably lower on my priority list. I've had them a while. My feelings for them have kind of dulled down a tad. I hope to read them, but they're one of the kind of things that will be at the end of the list, and if I don't finish them, they'll just not get read. And that's The Last Girl and The Last Shot by Michael Adams. This series is about a society where suddenly everyone can read minds, each other's minds, their thoughts, essentially, except this one girl can hear everybody else's, but no one can hear hers. That's kind of where we go from. That's about as much as I know. Haven't heard anyone really talking about this, but the covers caught my attention, and the synopsis caught my attention, and I bought it. I'm excited to read these. They're just lower on my priority list, because there are a lot of other exciting things in this pile. The next book I have here is Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott. This is a dystopian young adult kind of Hunger Games meets Pokemon is what I've heard. Essentially, a girl is invited to participate in this competition to get the cure for cancer to save her brother. Except, it's not a normal competition. She could die, etc. First in a trilogy, and I'm really excited about this. So excited. Then next I have two contemporary novels by Jennifer E. Smith, and that is This Is What Happy Looks Like and The Geography of You and Me. These are also kind of low on my priority list because I'll just pick them up if suddenly I'm feeling like a contemporary, but I'm not sure how contemporary I'm feeling at the moment. Sometimes, I just read her other novel, Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight, which was good. It was a good break, but I don't know if I'd have picked it up without having it dedicated to a day in a readathon. So I don't know. These are also on the list if I get around to them. They're both cute contemporaries. One is about getting stuck in an elevator with a guy. No, that could be this one. Yes, this one's about being stuck in an elevator with a guy, and this one's about an online relationship that grows into something more. So those could be interesting. Then I also have Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children and Hollow City by Ransom Briggs. I'm really excited about these. I've heard a bunch of good things, nothing but good things, and it seems like something that could be really interesting, and I'm kind of super excited for these. These are high on my list of things to be excited about, because just the pictures, the gothic pictures, and just, I've heard so many good things. So excited. Then next I have Prisoner of Night and Fog by Anne Blankman. This is the UK cover, I think. I assume it's the UK cover, not just the Australian cover, but whatever. I'm really excited about this because historical elements and just all the things. I loved The Book Thief, and I'm hoping this won't be like The Book Thief, but that has some similar vibes going on, and it is part of a series from what I can remember. Conspiracy of Blood and Stone, the next part in the series, yeah. So I'm really excited to read this series. I've heard good things. I'm excited. Yes. Then next I have Reboot and Rebel by Amy Tintera. I've again heard a bunch of good things about these. They're of course about people who when they die, they kind of get resurrected, but they're less human as a result. This has been getting a lot of hype lately. New Jacket covers, in America, these I think they've only just, I don't know how long Reboot's been around in Australia, whether it got much hype in the first place to be well published in Australia, or if it was just kind of kept on the low. But I'm excited, and like, look at the covers, like, look at those page spine things. Like, how pretty is that? How pretty is that? I kind of adore these covers. I think they're really great. I'm excited about this series. It's probably not the highest on my list, but I want to get around to them this month. Yeah. And then finally, I have the first 2 parts in the series, which is all that's out at the moment, that I am so excited for. I've heard nothing but good things, and that is the Kingkiller Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss. So I have The Name of the Wind and The Wise Man's Fear. These are kind of huge. Like, look at them, they're kind of huge. But I've heard such good things, and I don't read enough adult fantasy. I have like a like perfect score on adult fantasy. I have read Terry Pratchett and adored Terry Pratchett. I've read Lord of the Rings and adored Lord of the Rings. I've read Game of Thrones and adored Game of Thrones. So I make it my mission to keep reading adult fantasy. I just never pick it up. It's not a thing I pick up. And I don't know why. So I picked up these. And I'm excited to read these. They're kind of daunting, but I'm so excited. I really want to do it. So yay. These will get read this month, I'm sure. Or at least the first one. And that is the 22 books I want to try and read this month. Yeah. It's a bit of a big list. But I have high hopes. So if I can get around to reading these, I'll be very proud of myself. I don't think there's anything else. I think I've prepared for all the new releases that are coming out. So they're in this list. All the new releases that I want to read. But so that's about all I have for you today. Comment down below if you're going to read any of these, if you've read any of these. Just share, because I want somebody to talk to about these books. And I'll see you around soon with some more videos, because I have some plans to do some videos. Bye!